What is going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Living in Arizona, and today we are going to talk about the Arizona economy. This is a question that came in on the Living in Mesa video that I made about a while ago. This comes from Shilpa Dopat. Apologize if I didn't get that right. But anyway, she says, I have a few ideas for videos. She says, video about Dreamport Village in Casa Grande. Still working on that one. Video about Arizona economy, which is what this one is, and a video about best European bakeries in the valley. Number 3, I'm probably not going to be the guy to deliver on European bakeries, although that gets me thinking about all the good bread that I've had over in France and Italy, and just that kind of dough, right? But anyway, this one I can talk about, the Arizona economy. So let's go ahead and dial this in here and take a look. So I think that if you're going to come here, the first thing you're going to want to know is that farming makes up a great deal of our economy, believe it or not. Even though we're coming in out of a drought, we've been in a drought, and it's a desert valley, farming is a $6 billion industry, okay? ABC 15, who's a great local news source, when you come to the valley, you're going to have a choice between Fox 10 News, ABC 15. I recommend you guys take a look at on social media ABC 15. I like the way they report news because they're on the ball. This is no bias. It's just I like the way they get in there and they dial it in. But Arizona farms are making a lot of lettuce. Believe it or not, lettuce. I've grown things in my backyard. I'm growing an urban garden here. I'm going to be showing you guys more about this urban garden for those of you who are into green thumb stuff. I've very successfully grown broccoli, cauliflower, kale. List goes on. I mean, citrus grows great out here. So you can see Arizona Farm Bureau says it's a major win for big gains in dairy and beef. There's also surprising growth in pecans, pistachios, and wine crops. So let's talk about this. So another article from ABC 15. Arizona wine industry sipping on success. When you think wine, do you think of Arizona? Well, now you should, because Napa Valley better watch out, because the Verde Valley, Cornville, that whole area up there by Cottonwood, massively successful wine industry. So if you're one of those wine sipping connoisseurs and you just need a weekend getaway, go up 2 hours towards the Verde Valley, hour and a half depending on where you live in Phoenix, and you're right there in wine sipping territory. You could stay at one of the villa hotels out there. I mean, I saw people staying in Jerome at those places. But I'm telling you guys, the wine that's coming out of Arizona is really booming. People in Arizona like drinking wine too. It's a thing. I mean, it's funny because the guys, most men that I meet, believe it or not, Moscato, Pinot Grigio, stuff like that. Women, they like the stiffer stuff. They like that the red wines and stuff. But the men, I'm telling you, this is not a joke. Men like that sweeter stuff, the Moscatos and stuff. So kind of cool, right? Just to see that demographic and how that shapes up. But let's go ahead and dial this in even more directly and take a look. So you can see Arizona agriculture here on net state crops. Arizona's biggest crop is lettuce, comprising of 20% of the state's total production. Arizona is also leading cotton producing state, 10th in the nation. Hay and greenhouse and nursery production each generate about half the revenues provided by cotton. Cantaloupes. So these are things that you can grow in your backyard. If they grow here successfully, get a pecan tree, get a pistachio tree, get a cantaloupe plants, barley, potatoes, and wheat. I don't think anyone really grows wheat or barley in their backyard, but why not grow some potatoes, right? Garlic grows really good here. Like I said, broccoli grows great in the wintertime. Like, that's a winter crop. Tomatoes, obviously. It's really good for that. And then you have manufacturing. So you got manufacturing goods like cotton cloth, computer and electronic equipment, which is big for tech. There's a lot of technology companies that settle out here in Arizona. I don't know exact reason for why they do come out here, but like I said in previous videos, we've got the Tesla Motors, Alternative Lucid car company out here, and many just technology companies out here that manufacture computer parts. Mining, still a thing. Copper is by far the most imported mine product in Arizona. And then you've got mining copper ore, large amounts of gold, silver. Products are coal and gravel, crushed stone. That's why you'll notice out here people are always putting that Apache gold or whatever the name of that rock is, not the quarter minus, but the rock that's, you've got these granite rocks out there and they're in every yard. It's because rocks, it's really easy to get that kind of gravel. Services, community, business, personal services, private healthcare, hotels and resorts, law firms, repair shops. Really a strong economy. I mean, it's not just something that people say. It's booming right now. The economy is booming. Obviously, all good things, do they last forever? I mean, but they're saying we're definitely on par here. And if 2017, Arizona had the 21st largest economy in America, so you can see California is way up there in terms of GDP. But still, I mean, for our state, granted, we're a big state in size, but not a big state in population. We only have 7 million people who live in the state of Arizona. Phoenix is one of the largest cities, metro, but the population density of Arizona is pretty thin. But either way, it's moving up, and this is 2017. I wouldn't be surprised to see Arizona continue to move up the GDP list. But GDP doesn't just necessarily mean everything for the economy, right? So Arizona's economy growing at fastest pace since 2007. This is on bizjournals.com. We talked about this before. Arizona's economy is growing at a rate not seen in 11 years, according to a report from the Bank of Montreal. Bank of Montreal, obviously Canada, what interest do they have in Arizona, right? I do know that a lot of Canadians are now settling here and making this their snowbirds. We can make a video talking about where all the snowbirds come from, but out here in the part of the valley that I live in, we have a lot of people who make this their 6 months home, where they come down here in I want to say around November until maybe May. October to May is about the time the snowbirds come in, and then they go back up to Canada. So that's something to keep in mind. Personal incomes climbed 4.1% during 2017 and are projected to grow at 5% in 2018. A little bit older data here, but I would imagine 2018 was a stronger year, and you could see GDP growth of 3.4% for 2018 and 3.2% growth in uptick in 2019. From all indicators appear to be suggesting that 2019 is going to be stronger than 2018. This article was written September 5th, 2018, but there is some reason to believe that we are just continuing to get stronger and stronger. I don't know what the exact reasoning is for this. I know that it's happening across America, where the economy just keeps getting stronger and stronger for industry and for certain companies. And that means that the rich are definitely getting richer, and we'd like to think that trickle-down economics ends up reaching the majority of the population, not just the centralized powers, right? But we should be seeing it in our pockets, that us average Janes and Joes out here, we should be seeing that here in Arizona, where it just trickles down to our pockets. And I think it is. I think a lot of people, the building boom out here, people keep buying houses. And again, at some point it's going to cool down. But when it's booming, let it boom, right? Until they say, well, predatory lending, I don't know. That was a problem, right? They were letting it boom so hard, they were predatory lending. But they put things in place to prevent that from happening. So maybe instead of redlining the economy this time, it's a little bit more of a sustainable run than we had before. So you can see also the top 5 industries. You have trade, transportation, and utilities, government, professional and business services, leisure and hospitality, financial activity. So this is where the strength of the economy is. Arizona's real GDP. This is on good old University of Arizona's website. So real millions. This is as of 2017 also. They still haven't collected and completed the 2018 report. They probably won't do that. I don't know. Maybe when are they due to deliver on that would be interesting. But you can really get a drilled down report here. You can either pause this video here and look at what this graphic says, or I'll read it, some of it to you, or you can go on ArizonaEconomy.org, Arizona Real GDP by Industry, and take a look here. But some of the areas where they're seeing an uptick would be in trade. I mean, basically all the way across the board. So I'm saying it's booming because it's growing, meaning that unless we're going backwards, it's pushing forwards. You know, right here, mining kind of took a back seat in 2016 and then it rebounded and recovered. But mining is one area where it's not as strong as it has been in the past. So mining is still strong, but it's cooling down a bit. If you're going into construction, if you're a builder, construction is booming. People out here are building pools left and right. So that means, you know, pool builders are in demand, landscapers are in demand, even home builders. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about in another video is what's the deal with going off grid? Because some of you guys have been asking off grid in Arizona, is that even possible? And you'd be surprised because some of the reports are saying that Salt River Project, SRP, also known as, I want to say they used to be APS, or maybe APS and SRP are two different companies. I have to look into it before I do the report. That's why I haven't done the report. But they're saying that no matter what, you have to be connected to the grid. So if you build a house, you still have to connect to SRP with your solar panels. If you build a house and put a solar panel on it, you still have to be connected to the grid. There's no such thing as going off grid in Arizona, at least from what I've heard from the solar guys. Like solar guys who come knocking on the door, they say that, have you heard about the SRP program? I said, well, if I build a house up on top of the hill and I put solar panels on there, do I have to run electrical lines all the way up there just to connect to the grid? And he said, yeah, but he was a young guy, so I have to look into it to confirm if what he was saying was true, because I don't understand how you cannot go off grid in Arizona. And I say that because, well, do I really have to go be on the grid if I want to go off grid? I mean, I shouldn't have to be forced to be on the grid, should I? Anyways, it doesn't matter. That's not what this video is about. But you can see here, you know, wine industry, farming is still our biggest industry. But many of you probably are not going to say that you want to be farming. But urban farming, when you get a house, consider being an urban farmer. You can really grow things in pots out here. You just create these microclimates in your backyard. And next thing you know, you're growing everything from tomatoes to bell peppers to zucchini to squash to eggplant, broccoli, all that jazz. I mean, some people even take these little chickens and they put them in their yard. But things do grow out here in this desert, believe it or not. Grapes especially. So see you guys next time. Thanks everyone who's been subscribing to Living in Arizona and liking these videos. And see ya.